Hello and welcome, radio listener, and come on a journey to a world of fantasy and mystery. The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux, Episode 1, Enemies in High Places, written by Royce Pentaghast. Agnetha Deveaux was a tall, dark-skinned elf woman, born in a cold, mountainous country in the far north. She'd arrived in the city of Varadoon 2 years prior with her parents in tow, buying them a luxury house overlooking the city, while she was content to settle in one of the rooms above the Vestment Silver Tavern.
Miss Deveaux, TURMELL Robertson.
Agnetha Deveaux, pleased to meet you.
Let's go take a look at this house, shall we?
The man who sold her both places, TURMELL Robertson, a friendly human with a privileged upbringing, had lofty goals of entering politics to make things better for the less fortunate. TURMELL had since achieved that first goal, but being an upper-class white human, he didn't have a real clue on where to start helping those in different situations. Luckily for him, Agnetha was there to help point him in the right direction, and the two quickly became friends.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I got you your newspaper you keep missing.
Oh, brilliant, thank you.
Agnetha's past was mysterious, and she seemed to enjoy keeping it so. In the 2 years he had known her, TURMELL gleamed that she must have served in the military and had a concerning amount of knowledge about various criminal activities. As to what she got up to, Agnetha seemed to take it easy, keeping to herself and occasionally venturing out to visit a bookshop. But in the last few weeks, she'd changed, advertising her services in the local newspapers as an all-in-one whatever you need.
How have the newspaper adverts been? Have you had any interest at all?
Well, there've been a few calls to the tavern, but one guy saw I was an elf and immediately walked out the door.
Really? That's dreadful.
Charlotte tried making up for it by barring him, but whether he's been back to know he can't come back remains to be seen.
What about the other callers?
Someone took the pest control line a bit literally and wanted to pay me to spray their cellar for weevils. Of course I did it, and I made a small profit after I bought the weevil spray. There are a few letters responding to the adverts, but mostly seem to be mad ramblings.
But it seemed Agnetha longed for something more challenging, getting far more than she'd bargained for when a farmer came to her to be rid of a troll attacking his livestock.
I see you made it here all right. Follow me, the Gilda Brain is just over here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure you'll have some idea how to deal with this.
Yeah, of course, mate. Troll killing is my speciality, along with fire magic and other pest control things. The name, Gilderbrain, is it a local term for troll?
I think it's a word from old Hodgetts for this particular type of troll. Stands for cattle puncher. That's what it does, see, with those big fists it has. Comes down from the mountains and makes a right mess for farmers by beating up their livestock.
So, does it keep punching just the cows, or does it punch anything it comes across?
I'm sure you'll be fine.
TURMELL, could I get a hand, please?
What is it?
How am I going to deal with this?
I don't know. I'm not a soldier. Shoot it with some fire and stab it through the throat. Lead it back to the mountains from whence it came.
I'm all for the second option if you can get in and help me.
Definitely option one. Look, it's not that I don't want to help. Just I can't help. I've got nothing to help with. And even if I did, I wouldn't want to. I'm a politician, not a warrior.
Are you just going to stand there all day?
Right, I'll just run at it, hit it, try not to get hit back. Failing that, try not to get hit too much.
Good luck.
Shoot. Shoot.
Perhaps today would be a chance for Agnetha to get what she was after. A Sunday morning in the city, and the markets were in full swing. The narrow streets, often packed with horse-drawn carriages, had been cordoned off with stores of all kinds crammed in. Agnetha and TURMELL were amongst the heavy foot traffic, her attire standing in stark contrast to the other ladies in attendance. It was generally accepted a lady would wear dresses, their hair neatly done up. But Agnetha trudged down the cobblestones in her shabby blue suit and grey coat, oversized even on her tall muscular frame, and her black curly hair let loose. TURMELL was dressed in the tailored grey suit of office, polished boots, and a red coat, his own very long brown hair neatly tied back with side curls, making him look quite ridiculous.
So, you're shopping for anything in particular?
Oh, maybe. You know how it is. I'm just out for a browse.
I was thinking of getting a new rug for my living room. The old one was a little ruined.
Oh, yeah? Oh, check out those ones. Those are nice. They're dwarven in design too, very modern.
They are. They're a little pricey for me, though. That reminds me, actually, Agnetha, there was something I wanted to ask your opinion on.
Agnetha's attention had turned to a trader who stood out from the others. An elf with fair, freckled skin, raven hair, wearing a vibrant green dress, selling all manner of wood-carved goods from trinkets to walking canes and furniture.
Good morning.
Morning.
Who makes all of these?
These are all my work, besides the herbs, of course. I just picked those.
The work on these is gorgeous.
Agreed, the detail is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
How much for this black telescoping club?
£20 for that one.
Really? Oh, bargain.
You're going to hit someone with that, aren't you?
Perhaps so. I'm Agnetha, by the way.
Hello, I'm TURMELL.
Merelda, pleased to meet you both.
Your work is wicked. Have you had much luck selling here?
Kind of. My work has been viewed as curiosities by most, so there's been a bit of admiring, just not a whole lot of selling.
You're Manerish, aren't you?
I am. I would have thought you were too with the way you're dressed. Like you've not quite figured out the human fashion.
For the listeners who might not know,
Manerish are elves. That's their name in their tongue. An elven culture outside of human society.
yes. Well, back to the story.
Manerish, no, not me. Born and bred with humans from way up north. Have you been here in the city long?
I've been here a few weeks. I come to this market on Sunday and I spend the rest of the week minding a stall at the market the street over. The clan leader sends a few of us out to trade goods and services at the village and cities and try to strengthen ties with, well...
Oh, nice. How's that been going?
I take the bad with the good and try not to let the negative stuff bother me.
What kind of negative stuff?
How long have you been here in Varadun?
About 2 years, why's that?
Are some of the people, abusive?
In what way?
Calls from across the street, theft, vandalism.
Who are these people?
I don't know. Humans. They kick over my signs, my table. A few nights ago, there were a few of them in masks. Probably the same people as before. They had clubs and started smashing some of my stuff up, and one of them grabbed me until I pushed him off.
Were they asking you for anything? Money or your goods?
No, they were just trying to smash things.
Have you contacted the city guard?
I did. The number of guards in the area increased in the following days, and there's not been anything else since.
That's good, but it does mean whoever is responsible is still out there. Merelda, I'd like to help you.
You would?
You would?
Yeah, I'm something of a freelance detective. I could try hunting these people down if you wanted. Do you have a description of the ones harassing you? The ones without the masks?
Sure thing. They were human, men. One of them was doing the catcalling. He was tall, slim, he had short red hair and a beard. The other... Oh...
What is it?
The one who stole one of my ornaments and kicked my sign, he was with the ginger one. He had blonde shoulder-length hair with a round face and a black spot on his neck. He was shorter, more solidly built. He had stubby fingers too, his fingernails cut close. I got a good look at those while he looked over my goods. I think it might have been those two that wore the masks a few nights ago.
Perfect. I'll keep a lookout for you, see if I can figure out what's going on. And thank you again for this lovely club.
No, thank you.
So, you're a private investigator now. Agnetha, are you sure about this? I don't want you to get hurt.
The only person you should worry about getting hurt are the scumbags behind this. But I'll be careful, don't worry.
You are kind of taking the law into your own hands here.
No, I'm kind of going to take the law beyond what it's capable of. The city guards don't have the time or resources to be hunting something they deem to be a petty crime, because that's all that really is to them.
Really?
Oh yeah, unless some assault or theft like this happens right in front of them, they don't care. They're thinking if they place guards around the area the assault happened, it'll stop. And it will, mostly, unless the person committing the crime is particularly rash or stupid, and so later the guards will disperse. And I guarantee the second they do, the scum will be back.
Is this because Merelda is an elf?
Because she's being harassed, or because the guards aren't taking it further, or because I'm helping her?
Well, I suppose I'd better let you get to it. I'm afraid I have to run off now.
No worries, you said you had to earlier. Oh, sorry, yeah, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about before we spoke to Merelda?
It can wait, no matter. Good luck, stay safe.
You too.
Waving TURMELL off, Agnetha turned and rubbed her hands gleefully. This was the kind of thing she'd been hoping for, a proper crime to solve. Armed with only the basic descriptions of the criminals, she began what was sure to be an arduous task, questioning dozens, perhaps hundreds of locals for any leads on the case.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a tall ginger guy and a short blonde dude.
Oh, that'd be Terran and Cole you're looking for. They live just the street over, number 43.
While the street the market was held on could be described as fancy, it was quite a different story the next street over, going to the city's south, a long row of terraced houses in a muddy brown brick, one of dozens of similar streets built up decades ago for the workers of the gasworks and other factories that kept the city running. Nowadays, it was the best the most low-income families could hope to live in.
Aye, are Cole and Terran in?
No, they're not. Who's asking?
I'm a friend of theirs from work.
I'm surprised they'd have any friends at that job of theirs, considering how little time they spend there. And I'm even more surprised that Dumfries hasn't given them the sack yet.
I'm as surprised as you are, honestly. It's why I'm looking for them, actually. Any idea where they might be?
Well, they're either down the pub...
Which pub is that?
At the Crow's Head.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with it.
They're either down there or at the carriage warehouse just down the street on Potter's Lane. They're not in trouble, are they?
No, just need to deliver them a message is all. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Agnetha made her way to the Crow's Head pub, a 20-minute walk to the riverfront. The pub sat at the edge of the industrial area, right on the waterfront, and glancing in its dark windows, Agnetha couldn't make out anyone but the barmaid and some old men having a morning drink. She headed down the street, looking in alleyways and into workshops and houses, before her elf ears picked up two voices drifting from a nearby garage. Sneaking in, Agnetha saw two men, perhaps the two she was after, playing cards next to a horse-drawn stagecoach.
Honestly, I had no cash on me at all. I had to fight this guy for another bottle.
Really?
For real. Only took a single punch to the gut, but I managed to floor him, the big gorilla. He was easily 6'2", at least.
Can you show the bruise?
Well, nah.
A lover of dramatic entrances, Agnetha quietly crept back outside the workshop and scaled a nearby drain pipe to the roof, opening the skylight above the two men to drop down on the table before them.
Hello there.
Oi, who are you?
Sorry, seems I took a wrong turn.
You came in through the skylight.
You would be surprised how often that happens.
Get out or I'll mash you.
What do I look like, a potato?
Are you looking for teeth in a basket?
Why, are you offering yours?
The short blonde one lunged at her with a spiked bat, which Agnetha dodged with ease, flicking out her newly bought wooden club and knocking both men down.
Don't hurt me. Whatever you want, I'll do it.
You been harassing that lady in the market, the elf?
I ain't saying nothing.
Right then, we're going to be difficult, are we?
You're gonna regret this, yeah.
Oh my days, what are you going to do to me? What do you want from me?
I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want is to find out what your motive is for harassing innocent market traders.
Tying their hands and feet, she hauled them into the stagecoach, locked them both in, and drove from the garage back to her base of operations. The tavern, the curiously named Vestment Silver, was owned by Charlotte Evanshaw, a former dancer and keen baker, one of TURMELL's oldest friends who developed a love-hate relationship with Agnetha. This was mostly caused by Agnetha's irregular sleep schedule and bizarre antics, but had definitely worsened the last few weeks as she'd taken on more odd jobs. Things were probably going to get worse.
Morning, Charlotte.
How were the markets?
They were successful.
Was that you in the stagecoach parked around the back?
It was.
You didn't buy that, did you?
The coach? Oh, no, I'm just borrowing that for a little bit. Could I use the cold storage room for a bit?
Use it how?
Let me out, you stupid elf.
You may.
Another thing. Could you please send a pigeon to TURMELL? I need him to visit and pick something up on the way over here.
Yes, of course. Anything else? Tea? Cake? A part of my liver?
After shoving both subjects into the fridge, Agnetha sat and waited in the bar, her fingers anxiously drumming the table. After about an hour, TURMELL arrived with Merelda, Agnetha greeting both warmly.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Your market stuff is all safe, isn't it?
Yeah, I have it locked away in my room at the tavern I'm staying at.
Oh, good. If you'd like to follow Charlotte here through to the tea room at back, there's something I wanted to share with you.
Right this way. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
It's Merelda. Merelda.
Did you get me that pardon?
One diplomatic immunity for most moderate crimes for you. Has there been a development?
Quite a significant one. I found them.
Really? How'd you manage that so quickly?
You ain't gonna believe this. I literally just asked the first person I saw, and they knew them and where they lived, and I followed the trail.
What'd you do with them?
I locked them in the fridge until you two got here.
Are they still alive?
I hope so. They've been very quiet. Just need Merelda to identify them and get a confession, though they pretty much gave that away when I caught them.
Then you just have to hand them over to the city guard and hopefully you don't go down for imprisoning them in the fridge.
It's citizen's arrest, isn't it? Something like that anyway. I just hope this isn't too confronting for Merelda either, being face to face with them. I probably should have thought this through a little better.
I say you continue down this path you chose. Best not keep her waiting any longer.
And then Dad shot him, so that was the end of that relationship.
I think our fathers had that in common. Something happened.
Yes, I managed to find the two who've been harassing you. I just need you to identify them before we take them to the city guards.
Where are they?
In the fridge. I'll bring them in.
Is this normal for you or her?
More for Agnetha. The number of people locked in places has certainly increased since I've known her. But no, this isn't how humans tend to live.
Go do it in Terran Hall. Are these the scumbags who've been causing you grief?
What did you do to them?
They got a little violent when I found him. Your lovely club came in handy. Was it them?
Yes, that's them.
Look, we'll tell you what happened, all right?
And what did happen? Why were you harassing her?
We ain't saying nothing, you filthy elven.
Shut your stupid face, Cole, and your stupid tough act. We were paid, we were, to harass her, and any other elf business person in the city we saw. I don't know who by. He looked like some politician. I didn't recognise him, though.
A politician?
Yeah. A few weeks ago, he approached us at some pub with the offer and the cash. 100 quid each, straight up.
And then what?
Anything. Slurs, theft, assault. Try and scare him off.
Who else did you harass?
A few others. Some down by the docks. He paid weekly.
What did he look like?
Old. Maybe 60s. Had the most boring face ever. Grey and hair under that stupid silver wig. I don't know, a green coat.
And what else? Did he speak?
Right posho. Boring as.
TURMELL crossed his arms, deep in thought, as Agnetha led the two thugs back to the cold room. Charlotte had her arms crossed too, more fed up that this had become the norm for her once normal pub, and Merelda looked deeply unwell.
Can I get you another tea?
Green, please.
Lord Peter Grantham. That's who he's talking about. Honestly, don't think I can say I'm surprised, but at the same time...
Where do you think Grantham is now?
He'd be at Parliament House. It'll be lunchtime soon.
Off we go then. You all right, Merelda?
No, I'm not. I mean, you assaulted and kidnapped those two men and locked them in a fridge.
Well, it was self-defence, and it was either the fridge or the shed, but the fridge has the lock on it.
You can't just do things like that. It's not right.
I say that all the time, and yet she persists.
I did this for you.
You assaulted two people for me?
They assaulted you first, stole your goods, kicked your table over, attacked you last night wearing masks. Who knows what else they would have done? And why did they do it, hey? For money. They were paid to do it. I'm sorry. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, standing up for you, doing what's right, and you're excusing them?
I'm not excusing them. You can't just go around beating people up. Two wrongs don't make a right.
If only life were that simple. You can't just stand by when things like this are happening and you have a chance to do something. In my opinion, in situations like this, you fight fire with fire. Or ice, seeing as I locked them in the fridge. They did something horrible, and so did I, but at least I had good reason. If you think them doing those things to you and others just because you're different, and what I did to them at anywhere on the same level, then you really need a long, hard think about that.
Charlotte rolled her eyes, exchanging a worried glance with TURMELL. Merelda looked at the tea with shaking hands and swallowed hard.
I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. I don't want to cause any trouble. I don't want you to get in trouble over me. So all I ask is that you keep your club to yourself. Be better than them.
I'll try, hey? I'll see you later. TURMELL, I need your eyes. Let's see if we can find this Grantham.
Agnetha and TURMELL caught a cab to the city's House of Parliament, a grand structure with pillars of white marble. It sat on the riverfront by the sprawling green lawns of the Royal Park. It seemed to be worlds away from the dirty industrial area Agnetha visited earlier that day, which was in fact only a few hundred meters down the river. It was lunchtime, and the politicians milled about in front of the Parliament building, the pompous-looking Grantham amongst them, who Agnetha and TURMELL spied upon from within the cab.
Grantham is an interesting fellow. He's been in the government for well over 30 years. He's practically part of the Parliament House's furniture. mostly because he sits around all day and does nothing at all. Other politicians are proactive. They stand for something. They change with the times, even if it is to benefit their own interests. Yes, we'll approve the building of a new sewer system for the slums so the poor people aren't wading through sewage, as long as you bring back fox hunting. But Grantham, though, he just sits back and is happy to use all the privileges that come with his standing, occasionally trying to push his vile morals onto the people. There was this one bill he tried to push, though, and that was calling for the ban of all dwarves in the city.
Really? What a cock.
Completely. Stuck in the past, rude, disrespectful, ignorant. Thankfully, his proposal was laughed out of Parliament in seconds, if only because the dwarven presence in the city boosts the economy.
Look at him over there laughing with those women. Ugh.
If Merelda was right about one thing, it's that you can't just go over there, fists waving. You need to be smart. Grantham hasn't got much power, but he's still in the government. It'll take a lot to unseat him. You could try leaking to the press, getting it out there before he has time to offer a rebuttal. Or you could...
Sorry, Merelda.
No, wait. Agnetha, wait.
And it's because of this. That's why you can't bring alcohol into work anymore.
Lord Grantham?
Yeah.
Agnetha!
So, you've been up to some naughty stuff, haven't you?
How dare you lay your hands on me, you filthy creature! Arrest her!
Wait.
Now, you've been paying hired goons to assault and harass elves, haven't you, Grantham? Haven't you?
I don't have to speak to you. You've just assaulted a government minister.
I have a pardon, exonerating me from most moderate crimes. Cop that.
It's not really a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Is what she's saying true, Grantham? Yes. One thing you morons haven't realised is that someone needs to put them in line. If I had it my way, I'd have all you subhumans rounded up and shot. Go back to the good old days when they had your heads cut off and entrails strung across the castle walls. Your kind have it coming. That and worse.
How very, very lovely of you. TURMELL, do you know how to pick plums?
I don't. No.
You simply grasp them firmly and twist.
The guards stepped in and dragged Agnetha away. In light of Grantham's revelations and TURMELL's negotiating, she was allowed to walk free. As the bigoted politician was carted away by stretcher, his peers looked on in disgust. Whatever the consequences of his actions would have to wait for later. So Agnetha returned home to the Vestment Silver, Merelda waiting for her.
Howdy.
Hello.
You doing all right?
I'm better, thank you. This place is very quiet for a pub.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that. Business is slow at times.
Did it...
Grantham's actions are now public knowledge. People are disgusted he's been held accountable for what he did.
I'm glad to hear. And all done without you getting in trouble.
Yeah, I did the right thing. Anyway, sorry. You've been left here for hours. Do you want me to escort you back to where you're staying?
Actually, I'm staying here now. Charlotte offered me a room and she's arranged for my belongings to be brought over.
Oh, that's nice of her. So you're not completely turned off being around me after all that earlier? I thought I'd scare you off.
Earlier was a shock to me. I've recovered, but I understand your intentions were honourable.
They always are. Usually. Most of the time. My intentions are always honourable.
Now I can just relax knowing that Grantham's dealt with. Those two boys are out of the fridge and back home, and I hopefully shouldn't face any more.
Oh, shoot! I left them both in the fridge!
Oh, this is so uncool.
Both of them survived, don't worry. Grantham's actions were blasted by an overwhelming majority, and he was publicly branded as a bigot, inciting hate crimes. Despite this, he didn't end up losing his job, and he was demoted and stripped of the many privileges and luxuries he had become accustomed to. That pardon came in handy. I was even thanked for bringing the information to light, but I was told never to do anything like that again. No pardon could protect me from that in the future. I just have to be more cunning. Cole's mother was far from impressed with either of them. She made them pay back all the money Grantham had given them, disgracing him further and losing them both their jobs. There's probably some political commentary of some sort in there, isn't there? Anyway, Merelda returned to her market and dealt with no more trouble for the rest of her stay. Things only got crazy again a few weeks later with those animal people in the woods. Well, we'll save that until next time.
The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux. Starring Olivia Brodzinski as Agnetha, Holly Gregg as Merelda, Marie Butler Cole as Charlotte, Matt Harris as Cole, Aaron Beck as Terran, Stewart Fulton as Grantham, Royce Pentaghast as TURMELL, and Michael Mengarda as the narrator. Additional voices by Dian Smith and Jake T. Hodgetts. Theme music by Matt Harris. Additional music by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. Produced by City Park Radio 2024.